Okay, in this session, I'm going to try to create a live component to allow you to pick different templates. So over here, inside my space live folder, I have just one form component that we can take as an example. So let's create a new file called template component or template component. And here it is, and we'll just copy some boilerplate from here. Copy that, paste that here. So we've got, this is going to be templates, and it's a live component, alias spaces, alias there, yeah sure, alias spaces, alias spaces, template, and yeah, template. That's all we need. Let's see, update. Certainly this will be an assigned. Actually, there's a default update. I'm not sure if we need to override. I'm not sure what we need yet. Let's remove all of these first. And how do we include our template? We do need a render function or a template here. So let's copy some of this and paste it out here. So this will be templates.html.hex. Should be templates underscore components. Rename this templates underscore component. And paste. Okay, so we don't need a title. Let's keep the div. I think we will need a simple form. I'm not sure it needs to be a form tag because we're not going to pass any change sets in. So let's just make it a div with maybe an h2 that says select a template and see if this renders. So we have this template. Now we need something to, you can comment this out for now. We need something to include the template within the form component, which is here. So here we're saying, give us a name, give us a description, and if you're editing it, you can change the slug. But if the action is new, maybe if the action is new, that's the only time you can choose the template. Let's do it that way. Let's do it that way. So if the action is new, then we'll include the template. So how do we include a template? So if we look at index here, they use live modal. I don't know what live modal is, but I think I just need this part, right? I don't think I need the live modal part. Let's try. So here, whoops, here, paste this in. It's not going to be live modal. It's going to be space live templates component, and it has an ID which will be, let's just call it templates. Don't need the title, don't need the action, don't need the space, don't need return to. syntax before. Do some research. After looking it up, the way to do it is to use live component, passing in the component and then an ID. And it seems to work because if you go to the new, you'll see the select a template, but if you go to edit, you won't see the select template. Then you can manage and update your slug. Okay, so now we want to present some choices within the templates component. And choices will be maybe an unordered list. And we can say I want to loop through a collection of templates. So something like for template from templates to, I forget the exact syntax, so I need to look this up. So let's say Phoenix loop through list. Let's see. For item. Oh, I got lucky. Do. And so I guess we do this. And let's just have the template name. The template dot. So this should break because we don't have any templates. Come over here. Yeah, it crashed. Templates is not available. So we'll go and add this to the templates component. We can do this inside the mount. Define mount. So we have a default value. We get assigns, and we return OK. And let's see, how did this go? This went to mount from the live component param session socket. Okay, and the socket. Okay, params. Wait, is this a live view though? When it was a live component, there we go. You just get the socket, I think. And you can assign something into the socket. So we just get the socket. Then we do assigns, socket, and then we want templates to be nothing. Assign. So now at least it doesn't crash. But wait a minute, where are we? Wrong place. Here we are. Like it doesn't crash, but we have no templates to present. If we had something like name hi, name by, Syntax error before name. Oh, this has to be mapped this way. Get high and by, these are the templates that you can choose. We actually want to pull them from the database. So we'll do, that's where spaces comes in handy. So we can say templates equal spaces list templates, and give this templates to here, and we'll get arena and towers. We also want the selected template to be nil. And when we click on one of them, so phx click, we'll send ourselves a message which is template clicked, and the Phoenix value is the template ID, which would be equal to template ID. Does that work? Inspect this. Okay. So if I click it, we should get an error because we're not trapping that. Yep, so here we go. What was this? No function clause matching handle event for template clicked with its ID. Pretty cool. So let's go create that under templates component. So we're going to have define handle event. What do we get here? We get the template clicked and the params, so pattern match on ID. This is the template ID, and we get the socket and no reply socket, and we will just do socket equal assign into the socket the value of selected template and I only need the ID. Selected template, let's call this the selected template ID. Selected template ID become this template ID. So now we have something in the state. Oh, but the handle event is going to look for this in the index, and we actually want to send it back down to us. So I think we need to say the Phoenix target is myself. I think that's what it was. refresh this. If I click one of them, it's just we can't see anything. So let's see if we got to this point. Let's just do some inspect the label. Probably not done the label. We come back here. That. We click on towers. Ooh, we got something. Yeah, we got this thing that came out. Very good. I think that worked. Now we need some visual inspection on the front end to see that we selected this. So over here we can add a class which is class equal and what do we want this to do? We want this to say if template ID equals selected template ID, then how do you do a single line if? Elixir single line if else. If something is true, comma, do comma else. Comma, do selected else that. Oops. So what does it say? Selected template ID does not exist? Yes, that. Alright, what happens here? So open up a new space. I'll click on that. Inspect. And indeed, this has a class of selected. So to give this some simple styling, I'll just give a class to the UL. So we target this as, let's make it an ID. Templates. And just to try things out, I'm just going to throw some styling up here. So we'll say something with an ID of templates. We'll add, if it has a class of selected, so this and selected. So I've added the style to the app at the bottom, and that because the component, the templates component, the templates component HTML, the render, not this one, I'll close all of these. Okay, going to the live stuff. Here we go. This can only have one parent element in there. So I wasn't able to put the styles above here, so that's why I put it out into the app.css. And now if we play with this, if we click on here, we do get a selected selected template ID. However, we actually want the ID to be inside the form component so that we can eventually call save, and so when we save the space in the new mode, we need to know that there is a template ID in here. So let's see. This one calls saves the space with space params. It puts in the socket and it assigns the action. And I think what we want here is to pass in the template ID into space params. Sure, otherwise it would just be ignored in there. So we can say virtual on a space. So let's allow that. Handle event. So I think we need we have a generic update function, and we can do HandleInfo to pass the template ID from the templates component back to the parent, which is the form component, and then we could assign, so we can say HandleInfo, and we can say template clicked here, and actually, yeah, we could just tell the parent, right? So if we don't say send self, we could send it to the parent, which might not be a bad idea. So over here in this thing, we were sending this to the target of ourselves. We said, but then that means you have to pass it up to your parent. So what if we just said that, and then in form component, we move this handle event, sorry, not form component, template component, we move this handle event out of here, and we put it into the form component. So you have this handle event with template clicked and the template ID, and then this will assign a selected template ID into this socket. We have a problem here though, is that this is not passed to the child, which means that when you highlight over in here, it won't know what selected template ID is here. So I think it's probably still better. Okay, let me undo that. I think the proper way is to send it to yourself. You have encapsulation here. It knows what it's talking about. You go back to the templates component, undo this one. So you do get this, and it does assign this, and you know what you're talking about. It's highlighting yourself. But we pass a message to the parent. So we send self, and the message is template clicked, and we have the template ID. So the first one is a symbol, the tuple of the symbol. Then this will go to the parent, so we'll have a HandleInfo, which will be template clicked, with the template ID and the socket. And into the socket, we'll simply assign the selected template ID like so. And what's going on here? This thing needs clauses. Oh, let's not put this in the middle between here. Grab that, put this at the top maybe. So if we play with this, we have new, blah, 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 blah. Save this. That still works. Let me save it. That's fine. Let me delete this. Okay. Delete this. Okay. Delete that. Okay. New space. ABC. ABC. It's an arena. Save. Okay. And we want to be able to copy. Okay, so does our space have a place for all that data? Let me look at the priv. Let me look at the construction for the space. So space has an ID, a name, description, and slug, and it doesn't have a place for the data. Templates has data. Let me just copy this. We've got text, which is that. Default. Let's just say it's nothing. Okay, let's put that into spaces. So this also gets data. And let's just run the migration. So mix ecto reset. And if we go into the spaces component for a space, we can say that data field data is a string, but we won't validate this here. We won't discuss it at all. We won't set it. Yeah, default. Not that. And so when we save it, I want to just stick the, I just want to copy that value over. So inside the form component is when you are saving it. So we go handle event, you're doing that, blah, 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 blah. But when we save it, let's just put that into, let's just do this, case. Case what? Socket dot selected template ID do assigns. So if your socket contains the selected template ID, which would only be the case for the new path. Then we want to look up that thing and jam it in there. Save this. Socket and case. And some expected clauses. So if this is nil, just get back the socket. Otherwise, we have the template ID. Then we go get, so we do spaces. We have spaces. Spaces get template given the template ID. So this will give you the template. And then with that, what do we want to do? We want to say that socket equal assign socket, and it will be the no, we don't want to assign this anything into the template. Actually, what we want to do is we want to get space params back. Space params. So space params. If you have a template ID, we want to assign this into the space params. So map.put into space params. And what are we putting here? We're putting in here a template. No, data. Data is template dot data. Okay, so we do that, and then you get the new space params, and then you should go to save. So if we look at this, this is just going to update space with space params, save space, which is create space. So if we look at this, this is just changing the new change set. So here in the new change set, we just have to allow for casting of this and data and validate required. That's the only one that's required. So if data is in there, it will save it. Editing, it will not change that. So let's give this a try. So mix IEX-X index Phoenix server. So we'll do new space, blah 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 blah. I pick arena and save. Something crashed. What happened here? Selected template ID was not found in change. Let's review the template component. So let's do selected template ID. Form component. Selected template. Okay, so we're trying to assign this in here. Selected template ID not found in changed action new change set. Is it this stuff that's the issue? Let's comment this out. See if we're okay. Select this. Saving is okay. Alright. What is space params? Show me what this is. IO inspect. Space params. Label. Space params. So, new. Like this. Okay. Space params was this and this. Now I just want to know. Oh, of course there's not going to be a. No. We want to know what socket assigns is. Socket assigns. What is this? We do this. This. Say that. Socket assigns. What was this? Okay, here we go. Changed action. Okay, it just doesn't exist on it. Oh, it was never set on here. Of course, so we need to set that up in the mount, maybe? ID is new. Return to myself is this space and title. So we get change set. We can just do this, I think. Assign selected template ID here is nil. So if we run this again, it will at least have a template, selected template ID. So if we look here, selected template ID is nil. And therefore, when we come and assign this here, they get a template ID after you grab that, and then, oh, wait, we're in here. Why wasn't it set? We're coming through here. We're saying handle event save, which should take place after somebody has clicked on one of the templates, which should have gotten here. Right? So I'll inspect socket label new socket. And let's get rid of this part here. Actually, I want to see what this is. So this is handle save. And over in here, this is actually HandleInfo. And just checking over here that we did call send self template clicked with a template ID. So when we go new space, and I click one of that, I click one of this, it's not doing anything. I'll inspect here. Template clicked, template clicked in templates component. Okay, we got that far. And we sent this message to self in the form component. Oh wait, form component is just another component of another parent. This actually sent self. So this one is never invoked. Right? You send self something, but form component is another live component of index. And it has handle event, but why doesn't that error? So if we type something here, we're selecting this, and we're selecting this. Why doesn't that trigger an error? Template clicked. We assign this into this socket, and we want to send to self. Let's not add another handle info on index. So we'll do this. Handle info. Implementation true. And let's just see if it reacts. Here it is. Handle info. Okay, yep, it has to be on the parent. Now you've added this into the socket. Okay, and we need to pass this back. So we need the index or the form component needs that. So I don't think we need this in the update because it's just always going to clear it. We need this in index.html to pass this in. The selected template ID is the selected template ID, like so. It's not available in the template. Selected template ID. So that works. So it's not available on the index template, right? Yeah, of course. We need to set it into the assigns from the beginning, which we can do here in mount. Assign here. Let's see what spaces is that. And selected template ID is that to begin with. Okay, just click on the templates component. It makes its way through the form component, then makes its way through should make its way to the save component. So I want to see what's inside this when we save it. If we save this, selected template ID, yes, we have it. Then we can say that the space params can have that piece of data injected, and how I think it'll work. So let's delete this, new space, arena, save it. Uh-oh. Data is nothing. Selected template ID. If it is something, get the template map, put space params. That's a new space params. Let me inspect what space params is. So just do this. I'll inspect space, label space params, and we don't need to inspect this one. See that it's there. this, we do this, we do that. Template clicked. Okay, was it? And it is assigned an index, right? We have this handle event here, or sorry, handle info. So socket, it's that. We say IO, pass this to IO inspect, and we say label handle info. Handle info 127 and one. Got a different one. Okay, we're looking at the socket. Yeah, we're looking at the socket. Okay, so run with that. What's happening? Then when we try to save it, what do we get? Oh, okay. As soon as I'm clicking this, these are getting cleared out. Okay, that's why. Now it should save. I want to look at the data. Repo.o space. We got some data. Okay, so I just need to figure out why it was cleared. Take a break here.